You study for hours, but somehow your grades still don't match your effort. And here's the uncomfortable truth, your study habits might be the problem. You might be working hard, just not in the way your brain learns best. In this video, I'll show you 10 habits quietly hurting your learning. More importantly, you'll learn what to do instead, starting today. So don't just study harder. Learn how to make your studying actually work. Let's start with one of the biggest traps, rereading. You read the same chapter once, twice, maybe 3 times. By the 3rd time, everything looks familiar, so you feel confident. Your brain quietly says, yeah, I know this. But recognizing something is completely different from remembering it yourself. Close the book, and suddenly the answer feels much harder. That's because exams don't give you the textbook as a hint. You have to pull the information out of your own memory. So instead of rereading, close the book and explain the concept. If you get stuck, that's not failure. That's useful information. Next comes another favorite, highlighting almost everything. You highlight the important sentence, then another, then basically the entire page. It looks productive, but your brain isn't doing much retrieval. You're selecting information, not proving that you can remember it. Try something different, turn the heading into a question. Close the book and answer that question without looking. Now your brain actually has to work with the information. And that little struggle to remember can strengthen learning. Now let's talk about a habit students love, studying for hours. You think more hours automatically mean better grades. But sitting at a desk isn't the same as learning. After long periods of concentration, your attention can start fading. You may still be looking at the page, but you're barely processing it. That's what makes study time so deceptive. Instead of asking, how long did I study? Ask, what can I actually remember right now? That question gives you a much more honest measurement. Now let's talk about something sitting right beside you. Your phone doesn't need to steal 30 minutes to hurt your focus. Sometimes one tiny notification is enough to pull your attention away. Imagine you're solving a difficult physics problem. You're holding several pieces of information in your working memory. Then your phone buzzes. You check it for 20 seconds, then return to your problem. But now you have to rebuild your train of thought. Do that repeatedly, and difficult studying becomes even harder. During serious study sessions, your phone should not constantly ask for your attention. Turn off unnecessary notifications before you even open your textbook. And this connects to another problem, multitasking. You watch YouTube, check messages, study notes, and switch tabs. It feels easier because you're never completely bored. But difficult learning requires your attention to stay in one place. Comfortable studying isn't always effective studying. Sometimes the little bit of boredom is actually part of the process. Now let's talk about the classic exam strategy, cramming. The exam is tomorrow, so suddenly you study 6 hours. The next morning, you remember a surprising amount. So you think, cramming works. And yes, cramming can sometimes help with an immediate test. But remembering tomorrow isn't the same as remembering next month. That's where spaced practice becomes powerful. Study today, review later, then test yourself again. You're giving your brain repeated chances to retrieve the information. The goal isn't just to survive tomorrow's exam. It's to make the knowledge stick. Here's another habit that's surprisingly easy to miss. You keep studying the things you already understand. You solve the easy questions because getting them right feels good. But easy questions don't expose your biggest weaknesses. Your weakest topics are often your biggest opportunities for improvement. Ask yourself one simple question before every study session. What can I not explain without looking at my notes? Whatever makes you hesitate is probably worth practicing. Now we reach another major problem, passive studying. You read a biology chapter and everything seems perfectly clear. Then you close the book and try explaining it. Suddenly, you realize there are gaps you never noticed. That's actually good news. Because now you know exactly what needs fixing. Practice questions are powerful because they reveal those hidden gaps. They don't just test your knowledge. They show you where your understanding breaks down. Think of studying like training for a sport. Imagine an athlete practicing basketball but never taking actual shots. You'd never know whether the training was actually working. Studying works the same way. You need to actually retrieve, answer, practice, and make mistakes. A better study cycle is simple: learn, recall, test, fix, repeat. And don't be afraid of wrong answers. A mistake tells you something your brain hasn't mastered yet. Use mistakes as a map showing where to study next. And finally, stop treating sleep like wasted study time. Pulling an all-nighter might feel productive, but exhaustion changes everything. Sleep supports the processes involved in learning and memory. Sometimes another exhausted hour isn't what you need. Sometimes you need sleep so tomorrow's studying actually counts. So remember, your problem may not be motivation. You may simply need a better study system. Study less passively, test yourself more, protect your focus, and sleep properly. If this helped, like, subscribe, share it, and comment your biggest study mistake below.